Hey YouTube, today I want to share a little bit about my heart and the type of person that I am. I have a neighbor that I'm dealing with right now who is an ex-con. He got out of prison sometime recently, and him and his girlfriend have had addiction issues in the past. And this neighbor likes to go around and knock on everybody's doors and ask them for help. He doesn't work. If he does work, it's very sporadic and irregular. And I ask myself all the time, how is this person paying their rent? Or whatever type of payment agreement that they have with their landlord, because they don't own their home. So this guy comes to me initially asking me for help fixing his bike because one of the other neighbors told him that I fix bikes. I only do this for people who use their bikes as a necessity form of transportation. I don't do it for profit. I don't do it on a regular basis, only when I think that that person is using it for their full-time mode of transit. One of the things that you need to take into consideration when you're thinking of helping somebody who rides a bike full-time to get back and forth to work or to the store or whatever it is, why is this person riding a bike? Is it because of poverty, or do they have a DWI or DUI, or do they, commit so many traffic violations that they lost their driver's license, so they lost their driving privileges? What is the issue that is preventing them from being able to drive a car? And why don't they have a car? So this guy gets the bikes for free off of Facebook Marketplace that he has. And initially I'm like, well, he's riding around broken bikes and he goes to pawn shops. That's what he tells me. I say, well, why is he going to pawn shops? He's desperate for money. Okay, what did he do? How did he screw up where he was to end up desperate? My deal is that I'm a very helping person to people in need, but I have a penchant, have a strong tendency to attract narcissistic individuals who are users and manipulators who have absolutely no scruples or integrity. Because some person who deserves my help will go around like a very foolish person and advertise to everybody, hey, this person can do this for you. In this case, it was a blonde woman who has since moved away. And so she got into an altercation with another neighbor. She was usually a quiet, friendly person who would keep to herself, but she had a tendency to gossip. And she told everybody that I changed a flat tire for her. And this guy came to me, another person came to me. I turned the other person down. Unfortunately, I told this guy yes, as far as, just changing out a pedal and some tubes, because it seemed like an easy thing. Come to find out, the guy is some kind of an addict or something. And I fixed one of his bikes and oiled the others. Initially, we were just trying to get one working that he could ride. I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is the thing the guy needs as far as transportation. He's good. Then I find out that one of his bikes might potentially be very valuable. I tell him, hey, this bike is valuable. The one we just fixed. Oh, I'm going to sell it. I'm probably going to sell it, like, for sure. I'm like, man, why are you going to sell your bike, the only mode of transportation you have to get back and forth, right now, just because you found out it's valuable? So the guy would cut out on conversations with me. He kept coming to my door several times a week at least. And he'd say, oh, I got to go. And as it turns out, he's just going back to his place to lay in bed and watch TV or watch the news. And he doesn't want to spend the time to hear what I have to say, but he asks for my help. This is what you call traditional, typical, classic narcissist behavior. this individual comes to me asking me to do things that he himself does not want to take the time to do because he wants somebody to give him free labor and free parts. And then once he gets a product that works, he turns around and he sells it because he's a bum. I attract bums. I attract bad people because I help good people, and the good people circulate word that I am a helpful person. And in turn, people come to me to try to use me, and it ends up being a big thing because it turns into an ordeal where I have to get confrontational and tell the users to get lost. And it's not that I'm a weak person or an enabler or a pleaser. It's that some of these people that come to me asking me for help sometimes are potentially dangerous people. This guy is one of those strong, muscular types with tattoos, and I've experienced violence in the past, and so I had another neighbor complain about this guy, and I'm going to speak to management myself here shortly to tell them what the situation is, but I've got my own responsibilities. I've got people I'm accountable to, and I find myself on a recurring basis in these situations. I get approached by people who ask for my help, and then come to find out they've got some kind of very serious mental health problem or a conduct disorder that makes them violent or bipolar or unstable, very unstable personality types. And I'm like, why do I keep attracting these people? So I try very hard to simply be left alone by people, and people go out of their way to bother me. I have signs posted on my door. It says no trespassing, no soliciting for any reason, no excuses, no marketing, no sales. Don't come to my door. Don't ask me for anything. And the guy's like, I didn't see the signs. I tell him, you can see the signs. Against my better thought process, I guess you could say, I fixed this guy's bike. Since then, he's come over and asked me for a stick of butter, aluminum foil. He's tried to ask me for money a couple of times. I tell him no. As far as money goes, nope. I know they go to food banks for food, but from what I can tell, him and his girlfriend, who's not really committed to him at all, are both at some juncture or another, they're alcoholics. They've had substance use issues. And you can't help these people by giving them things, okay? Individuals like those I described here cannot be assisted by giving them food or giving them free stuff. All you're doing by helping those types of individuals with addiction issues or people who have prior criminal history like that, who are not working, is you're enabling them. They're looking for an open vein to feed on from other people because they're vampires. That's a metaphor to say that they just want a free ride. They want to use people. So tonight, this guy, he comes to me and tells me, I'm going to try to sell this bike. And I tell him, look, you should get an electric bike. And he says, yeah, that's what you keep telling me, and I'm sold on it. But why don't you buy me one? I told him, nope, absolutely not going to happen. Nope. You need to use the resources you have to fund solutions yourself. Like, how are you paying your rent here? It's not my business, but when they're asking you for help, it's your business to find out where the hell their money's going, obviously. And he didn't say, but I'm at the point where I'm going to completely cut this person off, and I'm going to file a complaint to management about panhandling on the property and door-to-door begging and harassment, because it's reached a point where some days this guy's come to my door multiple times a day, and after he gets what he wants, he just disappears. That's my cue. The lights in this room are on a sensor. But thanks for listening. And I should have this situation resolved soon. Don't help people who have addiction issues by giving them things. Don't give them money. Don't give them material assistance, because they're just going to use it to fund their addiction. I know that this guy has sold everything he's had repeatedly in the past, and it won't help to help this person in the ways that he's asking for. He needs to go into a rehab program or a program for ex-cons, and he needs to get assistance from them. And what's going to end up happening is him and probably his girlfriend as well are going to end up getting run out of the place that they're staying, because they're giving people a hard time. They're asking people for stuff. And when you have signs posted on your door that say, "I want to be left alone," don't come to my door. Do not come to my door. That's the point. You have to enforce it. And the legally posted signs are they're there for that specific reason.